We were seconds away from telling everyone the truth. My hand was under the table, brushing against the fingers of the girl I'd grown up with, ready to lift them into the light and show the world we were a couple. Then, the guy everyone treated like royalty on campus stumbled over, drunk and messy, and poured his heart out to her. "Kara, I messed up saying no to you," Julian slurred, swaying slightly. "Seriously, can I get a do-over?" Before I could even process the absurdity of it, he leaned in. And she didn't shove him back. She didn't step away. Instead, while the whole room erupted in cheers, she leaned into it. She kissed him back harder than he kissed her. I didn't scream. I didn't flip the table. I just quietly pulled my phone out, snapped a clear picture of the embrace, and forwarded it to the group chat our families shared. "Congrats to Kara on the new boyfriend." Then I added a second message. "Also, I guess that engagement plan our parents cooked up is officially dead." The second Kara and I had walked into the private dining room earlier that evening, the teasing had started. People noticed immediately. "Whoa, are you guys matching?" someone yelled. "Beige and white? You two look like a wedding cake topper." "Kara, you're the smartest girl in school. Stop playing dumb," another chimed in. "Are you finally going to ask out your neighbor today?" My best friend, Sam, jogged over and bumped my shoulder with his elbow. He had that knowing grin plastered on his face. "Ben, are you guys finally making it official tonight?" Sam was the only one who actually knew. Kara and I were already dating. Under his grinning stare, I felt my face heat up. I gave a small, jerky nod. Yeah, relax. You'll see in a minute. Let's just sit down." That was when the heavy wooden door swung open. The air in the room seemed to get sucked out as everyone turned to look. Julian walked in. He was the transfer student everyone was obsessed with. Coincidentally, he was wearing a beige suit, casual cut, hair done up perfectly with product. He had a small silver pin on his collar. He looked like he'd stepped out of a magazine ad. The vibe in the room dropped to absolute zero the moment he crossed the threshold. It was awkward, for a very specific reason. 3 months ago, Kara had made a massive public spectacle of confessing her love to Julian. He had shot her down instantly. After that, they acted like total strangers, the kind who look at the ceiling when they pass each other in the hallway. Now, it was an open secret that Kara and I were basically a done deal, just waiting for the announcement. So having the three of us in a confined space was tense. The fact that I was accidentally matching Julian's outfit made it exponentially worse. A girl broke the silence, walking up to Julian with a bright, slightly desperate smile. "Julian, you look great. Different. Very sharp." That was Maya. She'd also chased after Julian in the past. She hooked her arm in his and led him toward her side of the table. Kara turned her head, her eyes following them. I felt a sharp phantom pain in my chest, a reflex, but I pushed it down and almost laughed at myself. Kara and I were together. She was the one who had insisted we do this dinner. She was the one who wanted to tell people tonight. What was I worried about? Kara watched Julian for another second before snapping out of it. She looked down at me, grabbed my hand, and her voice dropped to a soft register. "Ben, come on. Let's sit." I looked down at my wrist. Her grip was tight, painfully tight. Julian had transferred to our high school in the middle of the year. Before he showed up, I was the guy people generally voted for when they did those stupid class favorite polls. It wasn't a serious thing, just something students did for fun. But the school had a tradition that if a new transfer student came in, they redid the vote. Julian and I tied. The only person who hadn't cast a vote yet was Kara. Even though I didn't actually care about the title, it was meaningless teenage popularity stuff. The idea that Kara held the deciding vote made me weirdly anxious and excited. I remembered Sam whispering to me that day. "Ben, why are you sweating? She picks you every year. You really think she's going to pick the random new guy over you? You guys are literally the neighborhood power couple. Relax." Sam's logic calmed me down, but seconds later the results refreshed on the screen. The winner was Julian. Not me. Kara hadn't voted for me. It was the first time in our lives she hadn't taken my side. After that, it became a pattern. She chose me less and less. She and Julian got closer and closer. When she realized I was actually hurt by it, she tried to smooth it over initially. She apologized, promised to back me up next time. I told her to forget it. I didn't need the vote. What I wanted was loyalty, not a title. But Kara interpreted my silence as pettiness. She had pointed at my campaign photo and scoffed. "Ben, get some self-awareness. You aren't as good-looking as Julian. Do you know why people voted for you before? I saw the data. It's mostly girls who don't care about your grades or talent. They just like your face. You used a picture of yourself sweating after basketball? Are you trying to thirst trap people? I didn't vote for you because you need a reality check. Don't let the attention go to your head." I wanted to tell her I didn't upload that photo. Someone else scraped it from my social media. And I wasn't posing. I was wiping sweat off my face in a candid shot. It was actually a photo she had taken of me on my birthday. But the words stuck in my throat. I couldn't defend myself. She stormed off, leaving me staring at her back. I told myself that day, "Ben, stop liking her. She's mean. She's not the person you think she is." But the moment she was nice to me again, I folded. I forgave her. And recently, she had been genuinely great. It felt like when we were kids again. At dinner, people couldn't help but glance between the three of us. Kara ignored them. She was hyper-focused on me, piling food onto my plate. A warm feeling spread through my chest as I ate whatever she gave me. Then, she dropped a peeled shrimp into my bowl. I froze, staring at the pink curl of meat. I'm allergic to shrimp. Kara knew this. She knew it better than anyone. If I ate dinner at her house, her mom scrubbed the kitchen to make sure there wasn't a trace of shellfish. I looked up at her, stunned. Her hands were busy peeling another shrimp, but her eyes weren't on her work. They were locked on Julian, sitting across the round table. I followed her line of sight. Maya was peeling shrimp for Julian. There was a small mountain of seafood piling up in Julian's bowl. It was the exact same thing Kara was doing to me. My chest tightened, making it hard to breathe. My hand shook, and my chopsticks clattered against the porcelain, knocking my soup spoon onto the floor. The noise snapped Kara out of her trance. She looked at me, saw the shrimp in my bowl, and her face went pale. She actually stuttered. "Ben, I'm so sorry. I was spacing out. I was thinking about college apps." She quickly grabbed my spoon, swapped it with her clean one, and fished the shrimp out of my bowl like it was radioactive waste. The rest of the table saw it. Someone clicked their tongue. "Okay, you two, cut it out. We're here for a farewell dinner, not a PDA show. God, I hate couples. You act like single people are invisible." "Speaking of couples," Sam jumped in, winking at me. "Kara, how long are you going to keep us in suspense? Isn't it time to announce the thing everyone already knows?" Before, that would have made my heart race with excitement. Now, looking at Kara, I saw her jaw tighten. Her hand under the table balled into a fist so hard her knuckles turned white. This didn't look like a girl in love. This looked like someone bracing for impact. I didn't want to be humiliated. I tried to pivot. "Okay, relax, guys. Since we're talking about college, where is everyone applying?" As I spoke, Kara suddenly grabbed my hand under the table. I turned to her. She forced a smile that looked painful. She started to stand up. dragging my hand up with her. "Since you guys keep asking, I guess I won't hide it," she announced, her voice tight. "Ben and I are—" "Kara!" Julian stood up abruptly, cutting her off. He stared at her from across the table, his eyes bloodshot. The silence stretched out, thick and uncomfortable. Suddenly, Julian grabbed his wine glass and downed the whole thing in one swallow. While everyone watched in confusion, he walked around the table until he was standing right in front of us. "You win, Kara," he said, his voice raspy. He looked at her with this hazy, intense expression. "Using Ben to make me jealous? It worked. I regret it." The room went dead silent. Nobody moved. After a few seconds, the whispering started. "What is happening? What is he talking about? Didn't he reject her? That was brutal, remember? And now he's crashing her announcement? Does he have no shame?" "Wait," someone whispered. "Does this mean the golden couple has a chance? He's wearing the same color as Ben. That's messed up." People started looking at me with pity. I just stared at my hand, which Kara had dropped. She had let go. She had made her choice already, hadn't she? Kara looked up at Julian. Her voice was quiet. "Regret what?" Julian grabbed Kara's wine glass this time and downed that too. He slammed the empty glass on the table. It almost shattered. "I regret saying no to you, Kara. I said I regret it. Will you give me another shot?" Tears were actually streaming down his face. He stared at her. I stood to the side, watching her profile. The answer was obvious, but some masochistic part of me needed to hear her say it. Maybe I just needed the closure. Kara let out a small, breathless laugh. "Just because you regret it, I'm supposed to just say yes? What about when you humiliated me on the field? Who fixes my reputation?" Before she could finish her sentence, Julian leaned in, grabbed her waist, and kissed her. It started light, tentative. He kept his arm around her, looking at her with tear-filled eyes. "Is that enough?" The next second, Kara wrapped her arms around his neck, and they kissed again. Real this time, like nobody else existed. I was the punchline, the prop in their romantic drama. I suddenly flashed back to the day Julian transferred. It was during homeroom. The teacher introduced him. He stood there in a white jacket, looking clean and bright, totally different from us in our standardized uniforms. The girls practically cheered. The teacher had laughed and pointed at Kara. "Kara, this is Julian. Funny story, I hear he's your biggest competition in physics. He's usually #1 in his district. You two should study together. Push each other." Julian had smiled at her then. Kara's ears had turned pink. When the bell rang, the girls swarmed her desk, teasing her about the national champion versus the provincial queen. They said they were a perfect match. Kara had exploded at them, kicking her desk. "Do you guys have nothing better to do? Stop gossiping about people you don't know." But after she defended him, people started shipping them. Julian changed his chat status to M&I. Later, I logged into an old game account and saw Kara had changed her username to match his pattern. They really were a perfect match. So I was done. Click, I took the photo, sent it to the family group. Kara and I were neighbors. Our families were incredibly close. Kara had practically forced her parents to move to the unit across the hall from us when we were 5 because she wanted to be closer to me. Her logic was that since I lived near a girl named Amy upstairs, she needed to be even closer, so I wouldn't play with Amy. Before Julian, her world was me. Her door code was our birthdays combined. Our parents joked about the wedding constantly. They had a plan. College, marriage, grandkids. It was all smoke. With our classmates, it was fine. Nobody really knew we were dating anyway. but I had to tell our parents immediately. I didn't want them looking foolish or getting their hopes up. Congrats to Kara on her new relationship. By the time the message sent, they had broken the kiss. They were holding hands, fingers interlaced. Julian shot me a smug, victorious look. A friend of Julian's shouted, "Hey, Kara, what were you gonna say earlier? About you and Ben?" Kara looked at me. There was a flicker of apology in her eyes, but it was drowned out by the joy of finally having the prize she wanted. "I was just going to say that Ben and I were never together. We're just friends." I felt the sting of tears but forced them back. I sniffled and pasted a smile on my face. "Yeah, that's right. Just friends. Never were together, never will be." Kara's smile froze. She looked annoyed. I didn't get it. She got the guy. She got the happy ending. I didn't cause a scene. Why wasn't she happy? Whatever, not my problem. I finished my drink, grabbed my bag, and walked out without looking back. As I left, I heard a girl sigh. "Guess the childhood sweetheart thing is dead. The new guy won." Outside, waiting for a taxi, I finally let the tears fall. I told myself, "Get it all out now, Ben. Cry now, and then never cry for her again." I sent the final text about canceling the engagement. Immediately my phone rang. It was Dad. He knew how I felt about her. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice thick with worry. "I'm fine," I said, but my voice cracked. Dad sighed. "If that's how it is, we can't force it. Ben, are you still applying to UCLA?" UCLA was Kara's dream school. She was a physics genius, but mediocre at everything else. It was her ceiling. I had promised to go there with her, even though my grades were good enough for anywhere. Stanford was my actual dream. "No," I said, staring at the streetlights. "I'm applying to Stanford." When I got home, I went into purge mode. I packed everything related to her: gifts, photos, the stupid hand-painted t-shirts we made. I shoved it all into a beat-up cardboard box. I was sealing away my childhood. I walked out of my room with the box. My parents watched me, looking heartbroken. I smiled and shook my head to tell them I was okay. I opened our front door just as the door across the hall opened. Kara's dad, Mr. Thompson, was practically shoving her out into the hallway. He saw me and froze. "Go apologize to Ben," he barked at her. "Your mother and I only accept Ben. If you don't fix this, don't come back inside." He shoved her again. She stumbled in her heels and landed right in front of me. We stared at each other. She looked down at the box in my arms. "What are you doing with that box?" she asked. Mr. Thompson smacked the back of her head lightly. "Don't just stand there. Help him carry it." He reached for the box. I stepped back, gripping it tighter. "It's okay, sir. It's light. I've got it." Mr. Thompson looked ashamed. "Bentonite? She lost her mind. She must have been possessed. Can you forgive her? It's the first time. You can't throw away 18 years of friendship over one mistake, right?" "It wasn't the first time, and she wasn't possessed," I cut him off. I needed to set the record straight. We were neighbors. We'd see each other. I wasn't going to be the bad guy who held a grudge for no reason. "Actually," I said, looking Mr. Thompson in the eye, "Kara and I started dating a month ago. She confessed to me. But I realized tonight that the last month was just her using me to make Julian jealous." "Ben," Kara shrieked. "That was wrong of me, but leave Julian out of it. You're both guys. Have some dignity. We've known each other since diapers. Holding your hand is like holding my own hand. I don't feel anything romantic for you. How could we be a couple? And since we're being honest, didn't you say you wanted to cancel the engagement? Fine, I agree. Just don't regret it later when you see me happy with him." It hurt. Of course it hurt. But mostly I felt stupid. I had wasted so much time on someone I didn't know at all. Slap. The sound echoed in the hallway. Mr. Thompson had slapped her across the face. "Apologize to Ben. Is this how I raised you? Playing with people's feelings? If you didn't like him, you should have said so. We could have canceled the engagement properly. You don't use a boy who loves you as bait for someone else?" He raised his hand again. My dad stepped out and caught his arm. He held out a small velvet box. "Old friend," my dad said, his voice cold. "Let's just call it off. I'm returning the watch. From now on, your daughter has nothing to do with my son." My mom glared at Kara. "Kara, you remember this. You did this. If you ever regret it, even if Ben forgives you, I won't. Don't come near him again." Kara looked at my mom, touched her cheek, and laughed. It was a cold, unfamiliar sound. "Don't worry, I won't regret it. Just make sure Ben doesn't regret it." She spun around to leave and knocked the box out of my hands. It hit the floor, spilling everything. Old toys, letters, the matching shirts. The shirt was right on top, the one I had begged her to make with me, thinking it was a romantic milestone. She had hated every minute of it. She looked at the mess. Her eyes reddened for a split second. Then she kicked the box, crushing the side. "You have some nerve, Ben. I hope you're this brave when you get to UCLA. Don't come crying to me for help." I looked at the crushed box. Oddly, I felt lighter. That kick killed the last bit of hope I had. "Don't worry," I said calmly. "I won't bother you." I crouched down, picked up the junk, and shoved it back into the broken box. I walked to the elevator. As I turned, she grabbed my arm. "Ben, take it back," she said, her voice dropping. "I can pretend tonight didn't happen. We can still be best friends. I'll still look out for you." The old me would have caved. The new me just peeled her fingers off my arm. "Get lost." I deleted her contact info that night, blocked her everywhere. She called once from a weird number. I hung up as soon as I heard her voice. I threw myself into prep for Stanford. I connected with a senior there, Chloe, who gave me advice on mathematical modeling competitions. It became my new obsession. One night, Sam messaged me. It was his birthday. I'd totally forgotten. I grabbed a rare gaming collectible he wanted and ran to the karaoke bar he texted me. When we walked past a private booth, Sam grabbed my arm. "Dude, is that Kara?" I looked. She had dyed her hair bright red. She was smoking a cigarette, sitting in the middle of a crowd, wearing a loose shirt that revealed a new tattoo. She looked nothing like the girl who used to ride bikes with me. She looked lost. Or maybe this was the real her. "Kara, are you seriously not going to fix things with your neighbor?" someone asked her. "He's actually mad this time." Kara flicked ash onto the floor. "He's just throwing a tantrum. Throwing stuff away, blocking me. It's all a performance to get me to chase him. I know him. He's weak." "But he scrubbed his social media," someone argued. She laughed, grabbing the person's phone to look. Her smile faltered when she saw my empty profile, but she recovered quickly. "He just hid the posts, trust me. When the SAT scores come out, he'll be begging to patch things up so we can go to school together." Result day arrived. Sam and I got to school early to use the computers. Kara walked in with Julian. Julian made a beeline for me, holding a cup of bubble tea. "Ben, long time," he announced loudly. "Still mad? Look, I know it's awkward, but you can't force love. Kara says we're all staying in the city anyway. Even if I don't get into UCLA, we'll see each other. Let's be adults." He held out the tea. "Kara said you like red bean. Peace offering?" He tried to shove the cup into my hand. As soon as it touched my skin, I recoiled. It was boiling hot. "Ah!" The cup slipped and splashed over Julian's hand. He yelled in pain. Kara rushed over and shoved me hard. Ben, don't push your luck. He was being nice. Apologize to him right now. It's 90 degrees out and he bought scalding hot tea, Sam shouted. Who's the one pushing their luck? I stopped Sam. It's fine. I looked at Kara's furious face. Okay, I'll apologize. I bent down, picked up the cup which still had half the liquid in it, and threw it directly into their faces. They both screamed. You're crazy, Kara shrieked, grabbing at me. I slapped her hand away and then slapped her face. The sound silenced the room. Sorry, I said, loudly. Better? If not, I can buy you another round. The teacher walked in then. She saw them soaked and was about to yell at me, but the screen on my computer refreshed. A massive banner popped up. My score was flagged. Oh my God, the teacher gasped. Ben, you're the state top scorer. The room exploded. People were taking photos of my screen. Sam hugged me so hard I couldn't breathe. Stanford, you did it! Kara pushed through the crowd, dripping wet. Stanford? We agreed on UCLA. The teacher moved Kara aside. What are you talking about? With these scores, he's going to Stanford. Don't hold him back. Everyone crowded around me. Ben, take a pic with me. Ben, send us photos of California. Kara was pushed to the back of the room. She stared at me, looking dazed. Julian tugged her arm. Kara, let's check our scores. She shook him off, snapping. Check them yourself. You have your login, don't you? Why are you so useless? Julian looked shocked. I applied to Stanford. Sam got into a great state school nearby. The day we submitted applications, Kara called from a random number. Sam told me to answer it for the entertainment value. I heard you applied to Stanford, she said. You're so cruel, Ben. You threw away me, the gifts, everything. Does she think she's in a movie? Sam mouthed. Kara, I said. My answer is no. Whatever you're asking, I wanted to go to UCLA with the girl I thought you were. That girl doesn't exist. She started to speak, but her mom started screaming in the background about her not submitting an application. She hadn't gotten into UCLA. She hadn't gotten in anywhere. She was going to repeat the year. My dad told me later she refused to settle for a safety school. At the airport, my parents were seeing me off. We ran into Kara. She looked rough. Hair dyed back to black, holding yellow roses. She ran toward me. My mom stepped in front of her like a linebacker. Don't make me cause a scene, Kara. My dad shoved me into the taxi. As we drove off, I saw Kara trying to wave, jumping up and down behind my mom. But I didn't look back. College was hard. It wasn't the party everyone promised. I was drowning in work and the modeling team. One winter day, walking between classes, Dad called. She's there. Kara came to find you. Do not see her. Too late. She was standing under a tree on the quad. She was wearing a scarf I'd knitted for her years ago. One she used to call ugly. She held yellow roses. She looked beautiful, and guys were staring, but I felt nothing but exhaustion. I tried to walk past. She grabbed me. Ben, I flew here. Say something. Did I ask you to come? I asked, pulling my arm away. Chloe, the senior who had been mentoring me, stepped up. Excuse me, do you need something with my boyfriend? He clearly doesn't want to talk. Kara looked like she'd been shot. Boyfriend? What about the engagement? How could you be with someone else? I laughed. You said you'd never regret it. Now look at you, pathetic. Yes, I regret it, she yelled, tears spilling over. I messed up. I only dated him because we were bored and he was new. I never wanted to lose you. Please, Ben, I'm scared. You always forgave me before. Why not this time? I'm done, I said, checking my watch. Go home. Stop looking for me. Chloe and I got on the campus shuttle. Kara tried to follow, but she didn't have ID. The driver shut the door in her face. That was the last time I saw her. She went home, studied like a maniac, and eventually got into Stanford the next year, but she never attended. Julian, bitter about failing and ending up as a waiter, decided to take her down with him. He leaked stuff, caused a scandal, and ruined her admission. She sued him for blackmail. He countersued. It was a mess of mutual destruction. I stayed out of it. I won first place in the modeling competition. That night, Chloe took me to dinner to celebrate. Candlelight, nice wine. I knew where this was going. Before she could ask, I clinked my glass against hers. Chloe, I said, smiling. Honestly, I'm way more into math than dating right now. Tell me about that new theory Professor Liu mentioned.